All right, folks. So I'm live in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. In fact, this is the exact location where President Lincoln, back on November 19th of 1863, wrote the infamous Gettysburg Address. It was actually delivered roughly 300 yards from this exact spot. Wow, it's absolutely incredible. I'm just looking at this monument. So yes, I'm live in the state of Pennsylvania. So from what I can see is that this is definitely a very strong Trump country, and I see a lot of supports for Trump, the conservatives and the Republican Party, and I believe this is where the election is going to be decided. So while I'm here, it is election season, right? I mentioned tomorrow, so I will be actually heading to Hershey, Pennsylvania. I bought a ticket to see J.D. Vance and Tucker Carlson. At the start of this video, I want to start with a very important message. So, it's President Lincoln, arguably one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history. And he has always said something that was quite intriguing to me. He talked about the pursuit of happiness, right? It's difficult to be happy because, life is very difficult. Now we got bills to pay, we got mortgage to pay, rent payments, worrying about getting rejected. We have to go to work we absolutely hate, and we got to deal with terrible people in our lives. But President Lincoln, he had an extremely difficult life. A nation was at war with each other. Upwards of 750,000 people died. And if you adjust that death toll for the U.S.'s current population, that is over 8 million people in 2024 if the Civil War took place today. But despite everything that has happened, Mr. Lincoln, his health was failing. He was under tremendous amount of stress, right? He lost over 20 pounds over the course of Civil War, and he lost 2 of his 4 children. And whatever has happened in life, Mr. Lincoln, he's always said the importance of the pursuit of happiness. No matter what you're going through, you have to learn to be happy. And it's extremely important for me to bring this point back. You can't be happy if you're not grateful. Remember that. In order for you to be a happy person, in order for you to be a positive person, you have to learn to be grateful for everything you do have in life. It is extremely difficult to be around unhappy people. It is extremely difficult to be around ungrateful people. And remember, it's even written in the United States Constitution, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Never, ever forget that. So some of you guys, you might be thinking that I'm getting off topic. Well, actually, I'm right on topic. And since it's election 2024 season, I think this is a topic that absolutely must be addressed. The title of the video is why the vast majority of women, they will just automatically vote for the political left. They will always be a liberal. They will always vote for the Democratic Party. And if you don't believe me, this is a fact, right? You can look at the results of every single election. You can filter the results by race, by ethnicity, right? By your religion, by your age group, and most importantly, by your gender. By gender, I mean male, female. Okay, I'm not going to discuss the 2S LGBTQAI++ for this video. And if you look at the 2020 election, right, the reason why Kamala Harris, even though I believe she's 100% Indian, she keeps calling herself a black woman, and she wants to cater to women so bad. They want to keep on pushing feminism, right? They're saying that they're empowering women. It's all 100% BS, right? They keep talking about abortion, right? Because if you look at the results of the last election, 68% of unmarried women voted for the Democratic Party. They voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. More importantly, 92% of black women voted for the Democratic Party of America. Right now, I think, Trump and J.D. Vance, they're 90% favored. Okay, I made my position very clear. Clearly, I believe that, former President Trump, he had the best foreign policies. And for the sake of world peace, I think he's obviously the best choice. But I think he's a 90% favored. But there's a 10% chance that Kamala Harris and the Tim Walz, they can somehow miraculously pull off a miracle upset. And if they're able to do so, has to come from the American woman, and more importantly, a single woman, right? Because 68% of unmarried women, they voted for Kamala Harris back in 2020. So this is how they're going to do it. Here comes the drum roll moment. Okay, a lot of people are not going to like it. Why do women always vote for the Democratic Party? Why are they always liberals? Why do they always vote for the political left? Well, I'm speaking for the vast majority of women, because this is biological. It's in the female brain, because it's in their nature. Women will always support the party that wants to help the poor, the party that wants to help the vulnerable. Think about it. Any political party anywhere in the world, anybody that supports immigration, anybody that supports the open border, anybody that supports refugees, the women always support these parties. Think about which European country has taken in the most immigrants or refugees in the 21st century. It's not even Sweden, right? It's not even the United Kingdom. It's not France. It's not Italy, right? It's not Spain. It's Germany. And who was the one who let in all those tens of millions of immigrants and refugees, most of them from the Middle East and North Africa, right? It was Angela Merkel. How did Angela Merkel stay in power for so long? Because the German woman kept voting for her. Because, you know, when these politicians, when they bring out these points, they say that, oh, we have to help these poor people from third world countries. These people are struggling. These people are in a civil war with each other. These people are dying on the streets and they need our help. We need an open border. We need to take in millions of immigrants. We need to take in millions of refugees so they can have a better life, so they can come to America, so they can come to Canada, so they can come to Germany for a better life. So when women hear that, it is part of their instinct, it's part of their nature. They will automatically think that, oh my God, these poor people, they really need our help, and we have to let these people in. We have to have an open border. We need immigrants, we need refugees, because these people, they're going to die in their homes, and we have to bring them over to Western Europe, to Australia, to New Zealand, to United States, to Canada. That is why, without thinking about the consequences at all, you know, they don't even think about what's going to happen. You know, if America takes in 20 million illegal aliens, right? They just think that these people are poor, these people are struggling, we must help them. It is in female nature to help the poor and the vulnerable. Women are innately more nurturing versus men. That's a biological fact. And one thing I want to tell you guys, you might think it's controversial, right? I made a 36-minute video on the severe consequences of secularism. God, it's real. And there's a reason why God created men and women, right? One gender had to be more nurturing. One gender had to prefer to stay at home and take care of the family and take on the supporting role in the household. There's a reason why God made men faster. God made men stronger. And it's because of this, men are able to earn more money so that, so men can become the hunters and the gatherers, so that men can become the breadwinners. And of course, if someone had to become the breadwinner, if someone had to become the hunter and gatherer, that means that the opposite gender had to take on the more feminine, supporting, nurturing role. Listen, men think about facts, women think with their emotions, okay? Even without the mainstream media, even without all this woke BS pushing it, okay? Even without all the indoctrination, okay? If you allowed women to vote, generally speaking, they will always disagree with men on the vast majority of topics. I'm talking about generally speaking, right? There's a reason why a man and woman used to be called the opposite sex, because man and women think very differently. Women think that, oh my God, look at all these poor people from Somalia, from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Nigeria. These people, they're struggling, from Haiti, from Mexico. Let's open our borders. Let's let all these people in, because women are more nurturing. Women think about it with their feelings. However, when you ask a man about these topics, they're going to think, well, if you let in 1 million refugees from Afghanistan, another 2 million from Syria, another 3 million from Haiti, there's going to be severe consequences, because if you let in tens of millions of people from third world countries, your country is going to become a third world country. It's going to be filled with rape, with looting, with crime, with murder. And I'm sorry to say that is exactly what is happening in Western Europe. That is exactly what is happening in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, and in New Zealand. See, men think with facts, women think with their emotions, and women are innately more nurturing. Listen, I know there are some women who regularly watch my videos, okay, especially if you live in one of these swing states. If you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, it's time to stop thinking with your emotions, okay? You gotta start thinking about facts. And if you do genuinely believe in world peace, then you gotta get out and vote for former President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. That is the only way to save America. That is the only way to bring world peace. There's no other option. One thing, I have a definitive proof of why women are more nurturing. They will always support a party that wants to help the weak, the vulnerable, right? The marginalized so-called community, right? The 2S, LGBTQAI++. You notice almost all of their supporters are women, right? Look at what happened to Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light. As soon as Dylan stepped into men's space, Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch goes complete 100% dead silence. Okay, if men were actually in charge, there will be a no to as LGBTQAI++, right? This was all the result of the feminist movement. So something that's very important as you see the tombs of all of these fallen soldiers. And here's the thing, at some point you're going to get old, ladies. You can say, I want to be a feminist, right? I want to be an independent career woman. I don't need no man. Well, maybe that's okay when you're young. What's gonna happen when you get old? What's gonna happen when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 70, when you're 80 years old? Remember, women live much longer than men. And here's the thing. When you get old, you're going to get sick. What if when you're 55 or 60, you get extremely sick and you have to go to the hospital? You gotta take 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even a month off of work. Who's gonna pay the bills, right? With two people, right? One person can always help the other person if they get sick, right? If your husband gets sick or if the wife gets sick, right? The other partner can just pick up some extra shifts on the weekend. They can work 60 to 70 hours a week for 2, 3, 4 weeks in order to cover all the expenses. However, when you're living alone, you cannot afford to take any time off work. So basically you have to choose between life and death as you get old. Really think about these things. Who's going to be there to open the doors for you? Because when you're young, when you're in your prime, there are lots of simps out there who wants to chase after you. No man's going to simp for you when you're 50 or 60, right? Who's going to open the car door for you? Who's going to help you with carrying your groceries? What about when you have to move? Who's going to help you with moving furnitures? Only man can be career driven. Women can never ever be career driven. You might lie to yourself. You might live the life for 50, 60, 70 years. But when you get old, you will regret it. You will think about it. Just look at the names of these tombstones. What do you see on them, right? You see a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, a grandmother, an uncle, a loving parent, a loving friend, a loving sibling. You don't see a career woman. You don't see a loving doctor, a loving lawyer, a successful entrepreneur. You don't see a self-made millionaire, right? You don't see a happy feminist on someone's tombstone. What do you see? Their pronouns? That they were they, them, or ze, zer, or she, they? No, you don't see any of that. When you're on your deathbed, who's going to think back and think that, oh my God, I wish I filed for more divorces. Oh my God, I wish I slept with more guys. Oh my God, I wish I had more toxic relationships, more breakups. No, nobody thinks about that. So, ladies, always remember that. Never, ever forget it. The most important thing for a woman in her lifetime is not your career. It will always be the nuclear family, because women are more nurturing versus man. That is a biological fact. Gender lives in the brain, lives in your mind. You can never ever change that. Never forget it.
Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now.